if I didn't understand English, I wouldn't even know what that means. So then the thought was, well, the DNA code, it has its own language that it understands, you know, unique to that process. So there's also a language that that mechanism understands and marches or follows to.
Oh, absolutely. And then, of course, the thing about it is the construction or the order of the DNA codons is what controls all the functions that are going to be. So there are myriads of them. It's not just one code. I mean, there are myriads of codes.
So I guess the point being more that it's more than just, well, part of that information is the ability to understand or the reading of that information in terms of some type of language.
Yeah, to be able to identify something that has a familiarity, of course, naturally. If somebody doesn't use the alphabet as we understand the alphabet for their language, I mean, in Chinese or something like that, we'd have to be able to interpret their symbols, you know. But the point being made, you can't simply generate order out of randomness by any degree of probability at all. Right, that's right. Any other questions? Yeah.
Who again was the mathematician who said the 1 over 10 to 15 is tantamount to 0?
Who was that?
Who was the mathematician that you said?
Oh, the
1 is 1 over 10 to 15?
Oh, to the 50th? That was, his name was Emile Borel. B-O-I-R-E-L, I believe. I think it's, or maybe it's B-O-R-E-L. Emile, I think it's B-O-R-E-L, Borel. That was, yeah, he was publishing that back in maybe the 60s or the 70s, somewhere back then.
Do you know possibly the...
I don't remember what the source was. I remember it in the back of my memory bank, but...
I've run across that in a number of settings, but I haven't seen laid out where that 10 to the 15.
Yeah, that's...
It seems kind of, you know, arbitrary.
Yeah, no, that's where it comes from. And, you know, it's a good point that you raised because I have to do more research and see if I can uncover that original source. But I had seen it at one time years ago. And of course, everything I had in my possession got destroyed by Hurricane Katrina, so all of that good stuff was gone, you know. I just don't have it anymore. But, you know, if God wants to restore it, he will. But it's a good point. We should check those original sources. Yeah.
I just used it myself and wondering.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason. He is a recognized expert in probability, and no question about it. I think Henry Morris was one of the first to point that out in one of his early publications. You know, the late Henry Morris. Yeah. Anything else?
How much of the DNA molecule do we understand now?
How much of a DNA molecule do we understand?
You know, when I read about it, we only understood a little bit, like kind of the, you know, it's the building blocks for proteins and all that. But what about the sequence of a baby growing in the womb, you know?
Well, yeah. It depends upon how far you want to go. There's a whole lot of advancement that has been made in recent years. That's undeniable. I mean, there's a lot of intricate research and very substantial work going on in understanding in molecular biology and in biochemistry, in understanding all of these functions and things, and understanding the nature of the codons and the gene expressions and all of that. There's a lot of information out there in the technical literature. So it's getting better and better to be more and more understood. But being understood is one thing. Talking about its origin is another thing altogether. I mean, to investigate and to understand the workings or the mechanics of something, that's what we're charged to do, you know, as God allows us to do those kind of things, to investigate. And I think that's perfectly appropriate. Of course, we don't want any advances in understanding to work against God's purpose. And of course, stem cell research would be doing that, wouldn't it? Because you'd be killing infants in order to recover the stem cells. Any other questions? Well, before I close, I was asked to promote something. And this is one of the books that John Ashton put together. He put together 2 books. This one was called In 6 Days, and then there was another, and this is scientists who profess to believe in 6-day creation and why they believe it. There are 2 Eds in here. One Ed is out in the audience, and that's Ed Horod, right? Yeah, he's in here, and I'm in here. So these are the 2 Eds that I know that are in here. And we will autograph them for you, whatever you want, you know, whatever you want to do. But these are available downstairs. He has them available, and wanted you to, you know, if you didn't have this book, it's a good one, because it gives you a lot of good testimony. I don't know if you have the second book, do you, Ed? You don't have that one, no. The second one dealt more with personal testimony as to how, as a scientist, you became a Christian. So take advantage of that when you go down and browse around the table, and it's got some good stuff in it. Thanks.